I was moving around and these two cards fell off the thing on their own. A frequency actually blew them off. I put the cards in front of the speaker. The frequency that I was playing was, what the hell was it? Banish demons, get rid of demonic beings from Altona. I realized that there are it feels like giant, and then I heard the conversation in my mind replay of someone that's involved with this. Giant digital demonic beings with a lustful type, but they seem to be attracted more towards empathic people or people with some type of DNA or aura. That's what was playing. I didn't feel the thing that I told you all. I believe that these could actually be these digital demons. And then sending them out into society is what I heard verbatim. I mean, in one sense, yeah, they are attracted to more pure spirits. But you want everybody impure. You want everybody an alcoholic, a sex addict, gambling addict, drug addict. That's a low vibration. I mean, it's a low enough vibration that I don't think that these demonic beings will attack people like that. It's the same shit of you're doing things impulsively, not realizing that they're counteracting something else that you did or a desired outcome from something else. It seems real sloppy and unorganized. But what fell out, what I'm getting before I get into this, because I'm not sure that it's going to have something to do with this, but it could be for those of you that feel that you hurt someone's feelings, and what the partnership begins. These would be for people who just met someone and you could have been the type of person, we're all admitting our flaw, not necessarily flaws, but something that we did or a trait, where you could have told them you loved them and then you loved their kids, and I'm guessing you needed somewhere to live or you needed something from this person. With this thing that I just picked up on of things falling out of certain people that had surgeries to alter their gender, finding things falling out of them. Now, some of them, it could be parts of scalpel and shit. For others, it is actually the insides, their insides. It wasn't done correctly. I have compassion for those who had this done. Either it wasn't your consent, and I do believe that karma was always at play here, that those who did it the right way for the right reasons had means to the right surgeon. It seemed like the surgical skills, now this is just me feeling stuff, right? See, they think that if they keep everybody from people like me that are super tapped in, that we're not going to be able to pick up on shit, or we're not going to be able to spread messages, or now everybody's connected, and they wanted that too. You see what I'm saying? They connected everybody together. It was supposed to cause mania, but now it's backfiring. Your intention is horrible. It'll never work. It's not your planet. This isn't your universe. Stop playing God. So now we have the others, though. And it did seem to me, by what I was picking up on, that there were men, and I know that there were women who did this too, but it was mostly men who okayed to impulsively get this done for either some money up front, and then that shit came and gone. And I believe that the surgeons weren't skilled in chopping off dicks and creating. They weren't as skilled as they thought. And maybe you were a little more skilled in sculpture, but when it came to disposing of waste, something tells me that you guys shortcutted shit, thinking that either they would be gone by then or that you would. I would take this anger that a lot of you have, that you're putting out there into society on people who don't deserve it, slamming doors in people's faces, pulling out in front of them, and I would take that shit out on your doctors, the nurses who were involved, and your surgeons. Any lawyers that you had involved where they said they could get you a lawsuit and they failed you. Why do we take our anger out on the wrong people? If you took your anger out on the right people, there would be a steady flow constantly. You understand? The roadblocks would be removed consistently. Somebody's worried that, and we're going to find out what you said. Oh, it says prosperity begins. Oh. We'll go with this storyline first. I'm getting, along with the transsexual Broadway play of, oh, hey, you woke up and I'm your wife and these are your kids, and to get the money of these men, or to even get life insurance policies on them and then make sure that they were gone. I'm guessing that these men and women, all right, they found out that, oh my God, this is crazy. You are a fraud. Is it none of my friends' wives can get pregnant? Could they all have been men? It's just the aha moments. Okay. Basically, some of these people feel that you use them, even though they forget. It's the convenient, right? The convenient memory and lack of in certain situations where I forget that the reason that you and I even met under the tree for someone, was because I was supposed to off you, take everything you have. It was ill-intended, to say the least. Tell me about this person. Tell me about the worry. Is this a church? Who's this group of people here? Oh. I think that this group represents them. It's a whole bunch. And I believe that they are overdoing it with smiles and hellos because the craziness is starting. It's not festering anymore. It's starting to erupt. Like I said, it's coming out of their pores. And for some of this hate is coming out of their pores, and they have skin issues like crazy. They're trying to shave. What if, I heard someone telepathically today, and I'm not sure if they said it out loud or they thought it. They sound the same sometimes, most of the time, but their voice started out sounding kind of like a woman, a bigger woman, but then towards the end it sounded more like a man. Somebody's vocal cord surgery is reversing. Now, is it possible that because of evolution with everything, that there's some type of evolution when it comes to the body going back to its natural form naturally? Do you think that's possible and we just don't know about this shit? All right, let's see. I believe that there could even be some, I mean, I'm guessing that there's some spiritual beings who are also this evil. When you pass away and you're a spirit, not an alien, but a spirit, and you did not break generational curses, or you didn't heal, so to speak, you are still an angry spirit. Yeah, and I'm guessing that at some point there could even be some as above, so below, where some of those spirits are learning from us and doing the work maybe in another realm. I always hope that you don't have to necessarily be in a vessel to do this. Who knows? But it looks like these ants said whatever this is no protection spiritually whatsoever. If this was it would be a male. Look at me sweating. I don't know what the hell this is. Look at this, but it doesn't matter. It could be hot flashes. It could be something else. I don't give a fuck. You're not stopping me, regardless. All right. So we have now no spiritual protection. And this would be protection from possibly just things that we can't see, but we feel that affect us mentally. Maybe we don't realize how much we are spiritually protected throughout the day, every day, all day, from other beings, other energies, other entities, even some that have not been acknowledged or cannot be explained. We don't think about this very often. I believe that our crown chakras are protected by certain beings from heavy attack that we don't even realize. This could even be while sleeping. We have protection while we're sleeping, while we go, and there's an autopilot, right, who watches over things because we're most vulnerable. They don't have that. These would be powerful male ancestors. They could have called on even some deities, some male deities to, wow. Did they call on male ancestors or male masculine deities to give them some type of strength or power? And if you did it on someone that's special, especially if you did it on women as a man transforming with ulterior motive, do you understand logic at all? Just picture this. You're you, right? And then there's this chosen one, or even these masculines. This could even represent these chosen divine masculines that are off limits to you motherfuckers. Let's go with that. And you, it feels like siphoning their energy, swapping. And did some of you guys that wound up with these things, did you find yourself becoming more feminine, and they're becoming more masculine? They could have been doing heavy black magic, if not just. This is all energy work too. I'm watching you move, and I'm copying your moves because by nature I'm a man. Now they have this confliction of, all right, I'm mimicking him, but I'm supposed to be a woman. This causes confusion. This is different than narcissistic confusion. Just like us women, not all of us are mimickers, but most people do mimic something at some point off of somebody. Good traits, bad traits, right? I mean, everything that we do, we got from somewhere or someone. So, us women would be natural for us to watch a woman move her hand, walk a certain way, laugh a certain way, and without either knowing or not knowing, copying that. Even if it's just a few times. This shit is the shit that happened. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's pretty gnarly. Yes, it is. And I believe they could have been still waiting. This is... I want to be a skinwalker. But I'm a woman. See, now you have both of these energies now festering inside of them, and they're both pissed. They have the medication that's turning them into some kind of woman in some way, and that's just having all kinds of they're having adverse reactions to that. Then you have this shit with the male, then their natural male shit. So then they're competing. They wind up competing with these men by nature, and it becomes this horrible, it's not a relationship anymore, it's not a friendship, it becomes their enemy. And you're living with the enemy. And even worse, some of these guys had to have sex with the enemy just because it seems like what we're supposed to be doing. And I'm a man and I have needs. These long-term effects from this shit. Did anybody ever ask any questions or say, and I'll bet there are those who went heavy into research, even maybe hired some people. You are very selective. You're most likely Heyoka type people, where you even do your own research. You get more than one opinion. You're careful. This shit, this just sign me up. $5,000. Sign me up. Go ahead, chop my dick and my balls off. Take my manhood. But they didn't take the manhood. Right now we know that manhood has nothing to do with dick and balls. It's an energy. It's a protector, defender. But it's a little more than this. You know, they're showing me two men that are on the basketball court who, let's say that these men are competing for the same woman, and the woman's there. Let's say that's the female friend, right? You're the female friend that has these two guy friends. You know that they're both interested in you, but you're like sisters, they say. You're like a sister to them. But you can tell they both like you. And now they start overplaying on the court. Eventually, it gets hostile. It's the same thing. You could have even had, for you females that were experiencing this, and you're like, I swear to God, my best friend's wife is a man. She could have even been flirty with you. It's this natural desire and attraction for the opposite sex. That's the natural order. I'm just trying to point out some things that you're going to have these moments of, holy shit. With the hurt my feelings, I want to talk about this. I thought that's what we were talking about. I believe they just wanted to put the layout here on mimicking the men, and then they can't, because the reason why you couldn't fully grasp it or embrace it, or whatever word you want to use, because you couldn't, is this medication to make you more woman is in the way. I'll bet I'll bet that these individuals got along better with women, opposite sex. And maybe that's the opposites attract thing, and we just took it as something else. Maybe the opposites attract is men and women procreate, they have sex, he puts his thing in her, da-di-da-di-da. Not your personality and I'm a wet mop and then I guess we'll be great together. That shit just doesn't make any sense to me. The opposites, I don't believe that at all. Cold brew. Icy. Cold. Swinging. There's some more. Thank you, universe. Did you all have a physical altercation with them? I can't believe the left hook. Some of these men were boxers, or they were into something capoeira, I just heard. Muay Thai. Now, you want to be a wife? I guess it does. It depends on the type of boy or male that they were before this. Some of them were very feminine, and you eased into that shit, and you were more of a woman than a natural born woman. Some of you, thank you. Others, though, you can't you just get out of the ring and you're not the one that sat on the couch, right? You motherfucker coming in swope with heels. But you men fell for it. Now, sometimes, in your defense, for some of you, you were the one that was struggling, and they had everything. It was to lure you, you know? And then you'll have friends and family who even, they join in to create the struggle. They'll get you fired covertly, they'll flatten your tires or have someone do it. They're all getting paid. They sold their souls. What was left? And now we have this. Cold brew. Energetic, vigorous, active. Okay, let's find out what this is. Tell me about this vigorous. I don't even know if it... The over dramatization of things. You know when you have a woman with you and you're at a bar or a restaurant, they'll watch you and your eyes when a beautiful woman walks by. And when you're a confident woman, you'll let them know that you've seen it and that maybe just don't embarrass me, right? Don't disrespect me with it. And that's enough. It's a look, it's a feeling. This is different. They just showed me somebody sucking on their straw and then getting angry and making noises and shit. This is a confliction between the medication and their actual testosterone. Now, I'm not sure if there's a medication to get rid of all testosterone. I'm sure that they tried telling you that there was. How do you know that the shit that you were taking is even doing what they said it would do? Some of you may have lawsuits against the medications. Like I said, take that anger out on the right people. You may wind up benefiting from it. Cold. I have to walk away. These men were becoming really cold. I can't do it anymore. Someone in particular, you're not drinking the iced coffee anymore that they made you because they were putting, what is it called? I'm more masculine, I know, but estrogen pills in it. Yeah, nope, not doing it anymore. And this is, you hurt my feelings, you're walking away from me. What are you telling me? I'm unattractive? Charles, do you want me to say that? I'm trying to do this the right way. I want to walk away, right? I just want this to end. I can't do it anymore. I don't want to insult you. It feels like you want me to, so that you have a reason now to tell people that either you walked away or that I'm crazy, and you're glad. It's to go in your favor. And I think that the you hurt my feelings too is that their community is not speaking to this individual. It could be the men, that the men aren't even speaking to certain women in their community anymore. Church, nothing. We can see something's changing. It's have it your way, you rule. I would like it my way. There's no altering here. These are men that like Burger King. You feel me? They like to have things the way that they like it, and most of them, not all of you, deserve that shit. But these people don't budge, though. You know what I mean? You can't give constructive criticism. Why not? Well, they could be misogynist as men. They don't want to hear shit from you. They had problems with their father, too. Man-haters as men. Insecure, thought that they would be more attractive as a woman because they weren't as attractive as a man for the ones that weren't born pretty already. And I can't believe you did what you did. I hope you can change back. No winning here. Yeah, I don't want to talk. Look, I don't want to talk. But if you want to ask me nicely, if you can take the answer, can you take the answer? The truth. Can you handle the truth? No, they cannot. Please stop asking questions that you don't want to know the answer to. A hot mess. It doesn't have to be, though. If you can walk away and don't go back, and walk away and just cut off talking to them altogether, they're dying without your energy, is what it feels like. Who's this Queen of Pentacles? Did somebody say they were going to kill your wife or this? Hold on a second. Some of you were seeing multiple women and you chose someone else. Are you grateful for a female for awakening you to this, right? That's what this looks like. There's an earth sign that I'm grateful for or just a loving woman who actually is a feminine. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Please don't tell me that, well, I guess that you say how you feel, but don't rub it in and say and compare them to another woman over and over and over again. We don't need to add fuel to this fire. You're not going to need to. Wait till you see the shit that starts happening from all of these things combining. If you get too many things combining, this is too many people, too many attitudes, too many drugs, too much alcohol, different kinds, too many different elements. At some point, the shit becomes chaotic in some way. So I got smooth. How smooth talkers they are. Did somebody find a script? I don't mean prescription. I mean an actual written script. And then what they look at this. Look. See, now you're by yourself and you're single. A lot of you are celibate. We have no choice. Not that we have no choice, but my God, if you've seen them and what they're looking like now, I thought that somebody actually replaced who used to be my wife or my fiance to ha-ha me. I thought I was being punked. I'll stay to myself. This is you were looking for something and you found a script. Now what they do is they separate you and your boys they're doing this to. Eventually they'll see if it works, and then they run back to whoever it is, that the puppeteer, that their slave master, and they take back information like a good little slave. Then they'll work on your friends. The wives will wind up going missing, or the girlfriends, or they'll wind up gone or locked up, and then they move in now. They play savior. They make sure that you're broken, or that what if the wife took care of all the finances, or here I come, yeah, and then they separate you. Understand? They don't they don't want you all comparing notes about what you could be finding out, or even speaking to each other, unless they're there. There's always going to be some type of handling there. They have to make sure that if you're playing poker and someone's drinking or does a bump, and all of a sudden they say, yo man, what's this shit that this chick is talking about with, that they have to distract. They may drop something and bend over and put their man ass in front of you with their snipped ball thing hanging in your face that you don't get to see because you have sex in the dark too much. Is a French tickler? I don't think so. Us real women don't have that. Shit's on the inside. But you see what I'm saying? They will always make sure. Think back now to times where you saw somebody put two and two. Something was said. It was brought up. We all had this aha moment of holy shit. And then somebody's texting, yo, I think they're figuring it out. What do you want me to do? Follow the leader. That's you men. That you know that this is me. I need to take control of this shit. And I need another woman. I would like to stand behind a woman. You see how he's behind her? But she has to be the equal. She's a queen of swords. He's a king of swords. Both up front. I don't want to find no secrets. I don't want to find no shit out later. You know what I mean? I don't want to open my eyes and watch you standing over me with my father's sword you took off the wall from the library. I don't want them to be stronger than me physically. There are men who dated weightlifters and shit, and some of these chicks, they got way too into it, and you felt like you were dating a man. I just went from that to the same thing. Some of these people started selling things in your home and even prostituting, and it was worse than a drug addiction because they're terrified of this shit reversing or just being dormant in the way that they are now. I mean, some of them were told to go ahead and do this shit to you men, and they weren't fully transformed, but they were promised that as long as they stick to the script, and you'll be all right. And they were betrayed once whoever was on the other side saw them as not a moneymaker anymore, or they were becoming too complacent or maybe unattractive. You know, this in everything, it's the frontliners. Some of these chicks, they were bottom liners. You know what I'm saying? And they never got phone calls back again, and they didn't know how they were going to finish the transformation or keep getting this medication, so they started stealing your shit. Of course, they're going to steal your shit before they're going to go suck dick for it. You may find some of your things you were looking for at your local pawn shop. In Arizona, what's Temecula? Temecula, yep. And San Pablo. There are people there that your shit's at a pawn shop, and your transsexual wife sold it. Tell me what else we need to know about this current situation. They seem to be putting out a serious warning for what's going to happen when all of this shit hits the fan. On top of you all leaving them, I mean, some of you were complimenting these women, and they didn't deserve. You didn't even mean it. They're gagging while you were saying it. Just keeping the peace. Eventually, that keeping the peace turns you into the tail and not the head of your household. A lot of you're like, I'm ready. We left. I took a hit. I let them keep this. I let them keep that. I don't even care. You know, maybe there's a man that said, hey, listen, I don't want any hard feelings, and you were insulted or you were just spoken to wrongly. And he went back and said, hey, listen, if you ever want to spar in the ring, I mean, hit me up. But other than that, and they've lost their shit. They forget that they said something to you in public, in front of everybody, that was a lie. How quickly we forget. Say how you really feel. And you can read their way of being, we'll say. You can tell if... You just know if what you're saying is warranted. You can feel it. If you have to force it, I would hold off. Either your delivery's not where it should be, or they're not going to take it. It's going to be worse than you think. Done a stuntman shot. Why does this keep... I'll tell you what's real bad, though. I honestly think this is the one that's important. Faked an orgasm. I don't believe this is the women. I believe it's you men. I mean... Let me ask you something else. How many of you faked it because you just wanted to get off and get out? You couldn't stand it. You're on top of a man. Regardless, it's a man. Now, I have no fucking idea what that was. I'm so overwhelmed with what I'm feeling has been going on in some of your lives. And I understand now, but I'm still a little agitated why you had attitudes towards good women. That's a woman as far as you know, and they are your nemesis, and I have to go and look at this every single day and actively stop myself from strangling him. And then I see other women, and I just assume they're all the same, understandably so. But you pulled out, and this was in the beginning. And that was sad. I think you were nervous. Oh, my God. I mean, I didn't think that sex was going to be the forefront of my marriage or my relationship. But now I see if this is the way it's going to be, I don't know if this is going to work. Now this man has to sit there and think every day about, am I going to cheat? He can't even live his life. Am I going to... What if a beautiful woman comes up to me and that's what I'm comparing it to? If that's the case... I'm an asshole. I'm going to cheat. But did some of them say to you, isn't it supposed to drip out? So for those of you, when you do that in a real woman, I told you there's cushiony there. There's a reproductive system. It's a pinball machine. It goes up, right? It may even have the flaps that come back down, and it doesn't come out the way it should. It's not up and then out. This shit wasn't it? I mean, it looked like they peed themselves for some of you. I don't remember it coming out like that. I mean, it used to be a little bit. They would sit down, one of them coughed, and it shot back out of them again. Makes you wonder, what does it look like inside of there? Without the reproductive system, the womb, is it just a bunch of empty space for men? I don't know. I never saw it. Brooklyn. Hi, Brooklyn. Tell me what else. We'll talk about more about. Look, faith and orgasm. Bullshit. Now they're going to say this. Slept with someone my friend was interested in. Some of your friends, Divine Masculine, were flirting with your new girlfriend and wife, and they became real close. Now, partial of these people did cheat with some of your friends, and others, it was a constant buildup that you could feel. I don't think your friends are interested anymore. Well, it depends on what kind of friends you got. Some of them are full-blown gay. And it's perfect. It's going to be, everything will work out that way for certain people. You won't have to worry about them slicing your tires up forever or keying your car forever. They'll do it to your friend. Faked an orgasm. Did you say that? Do you know how many times? There are conversations being had with some of you and these women. I'm going to say women just because. Some of these women. And others are just impossible. But most of them, it starts out conversation and it ends up impossible. Let's find out. And bullshit. There's no way you faked it. Why would you? You had to have faked it. It's impossible for you to have that. You don't have a right? That's where the pleasure's at. So basically, besides faking your gender from the rip. But there are some of these people that will actually be good enough to manipulate the situation to make you feel like you were the phony. I can't believe that you lied when you said that you had one. You lied about being a woman. A woman. Tell me about the faith and orgasm and bullshit. It was wish fulfillment. I mean, you were screaming and everything. But it was a problem when you said, I never, ever faked that before. That's when they really called bullshit on you, didn't they? And then I'm the type of guy that you actually got into detail. You may have manipulated it a little bit, the story, but I believe that you were at your wit's end. I can't win a conversation, and maybe I need to go into this without just wanting to win. What am I getting anything out of it? Forget whether there's a winner or who says the last word. Is my time that I'm putting into this worth it? No, I don't think so. But for some of you, it was important for you to be that type of guy that you always have been. And quite frankly, being just that type of guy is the reason why you were preyed on like this. All right, but this is your lessons learned. So did you women have this shit happen too? Where the man was actually a woman? Does it happen as often? I'm not sure, but I'm not going to forget about you. That shit is rough too. It's a constant competition with everything. It's like having your sister or your best friend there, but with the dick. I don't know how that works either. Maybe some of us just weren't meant to be married or be in the same relationship. For those of you that know that your what you give off is priceless, and that many people need to experience it, whether it's just conversation, your laugh, your point of view on life, your punchline, your ability to joke about things that most people would think was taboo. And I'm guessing when in the bedroom, maybe it's supposed to be multiple people. This here, though, with the faked an orgasm, there's also, they faked it. This is when this guy already knew that they were a man, and he did some research. He knows some doctors, some surgeons, and they got together, a little powwow. And they came to the conclusion that it would be damn near impossible for you to have one this way. I mean, this shit was... And then what happens is, did you fake it? No. He intentionally he has to force himself. I just gagged. I did, and I seen him gag. He had to do it again. He's that type of guy where I need answers. He's the, I will test this coffee with that coffee. Challenger, which is great. It was probably difficult just to be in this connection, period, because you're that type of guy. So here we are. We're going to do this again. Now it's overkill with this Knight of Wands. It's completely overkill. Yelling loud. Now I know. They don't even realize how fake they are. They got used to being fake because, like we said, they're playing women. And they became good at that until there we go. Yeah, cursing and everything. Until a real woman shows up, and now they feel intimidated and they feel threatened. What they'll do also is, if there's a real woman in your life or your group of friends, they're gone somehow. If they don't wind up offing them, then they will have them arrested. I'm telling you, this is how deep this shit went. And they will bring in all of these types so that now this is normal. This is normal. I mean, their calves are always this big. Their thighs are always like their shoulders. I mean, it must just be something in the food. And then they'll even have this. I'm telling you, pay attention. There doesn't have to be a threat dwindling for them to come up with another tactic to manipulate, to keep your focus on the fact that they actually are a woman. Does that make sense? They'll even say things like, "Yeah, well, a friend of mine said." They'll take care of it before it becomes a problem. Any possibilities of some topics, I would be surprised if they had classes for this. Any possibility that a topic could come up, I would like to cover. And there are people who actually got involved. Like, this was a professional thing, you fucking weirdos. It made you feel like you were a part of something. A part of something like this? These would be the type of people that have this happen to them eventually. And then you get angry that it happened to you. I just heard I'm happy and gay. You wouldn't have to say that. You live that way. The people who were genuine and authentic, they could never speak for the rest of their life or even have thoughts telepathically. People just know by the way they move and by the way they are with others, whether they're happy with who they are or not. Yeah, you get that real woman. But let's say one of your boys is a cheater. Now, usually he has handlers too, where they drive around and they watch him. Could you imagine putting this much shit into something like this? There are homeless, hungry people. There are countries with no fucking water or clean water. There are children being trafficked at an alarming rate. But this is what these people wanted to put all this into. Yeah, it was a family. Fucking weirdos. Aria, your name comes up a lot. What's up with you? A-E-I-O-U, you. Tell me something else. What's up with the education on some of them? They wanted to be housewife, right? And then what do we do then? What do I do? I'm a conniving man who changed myself into a woman, and I can't stand it. And now I can't stand the man I'm with because he's actually better looking than me as a man. I'm competitive too and jealous. So I secretly want to destroy him. And I want to humiliate him too. You could have had some of these chicks video record you having sex. Anything to humiliate you and break you down. What a real woman doesn't do. But there were some situations where some of you went to read some shit out loud, didn't you? And you couldn't even read. You showed up with degrees. Some of you said you were fucking lawyers, and then you miraculously got pregnant. I guess I'm going to have... And then you're so good with the emotion where you get the man to say, this is what they'll tell you in class. Listen, some of these guys, they're listening to this bitch Philly or other tarot readers, or someone's telling them this, and they're hip to some shit. So what I want you to do is I want you to have them offer it to you. I want you to say, I may be pregnant, and then have all this paperwork from your law firm in front of you. And we're going to give you the little belly. There's a little belly, right? How did you handle that? How did you did you just wind up eating? That they could have gotten this putting air inside of you thing from that. I wouldn't be surprised if they use these things that they use to put air through your cells and it blows your belly out to say that you were 2 months pregnant. That's how they got them. You have to respect the hustle a little bit. And then what happens? You wind up saying, well, why don't you just take a sabbatical then and I'll just work extra hours. Oh, I don't have any. See, they set you up for you to offer, and then they don't feel so bad. I also see riot. This may happen in jails and prisons for the transsexuals that are in there, and we have AIA, and Q. We forget that this is as in, as out, we'll say. It's the same shit. There's just walls there and there's cages, but it's the same shit going on in that world that's going on out here. Only they can't hide. They can only hide so much, right? Now in jail, they're safer there, I'm guessing, because but there's still going to be, I believe there are men who don't want anything to do with that shit. They are hell-bent on women. They love women, and they may get their shit polished, but I know a lot of men, I can feel it, I don't know them, they refuse to put in some guys, which would make you, in some way, celibate. Right? It's not semen retention, but it's celibacy. Forced. Maybe it was to protect you. What do you do when you're that used to it for the men that were putting it there? or even in there, right? Let's just say in there. But in the beginning, I was exposing men who were sticking their shit in asses because these chicks were celibate, but saying that you could put it in there. Okay. All right, we'll go that route. But how do you... Was it to get them used to that so that they would think being with a woman was too stretched? Until you get one of those women who has memory foam parts. That's a true woman. See, true women, when you're not the town whore, your shit retracts. It cleans itself overnight. Put that shit on a timer. It's on its own timer. And it plumps back up again. It's beautiful. Some of you got emotional thinking the last time you felt that, and then the thoughts were, how long have they been getting rid of women for? And as you thought it, you got emotional, which told you, I'm not gay. I may, right? Who knows? You have those nights. One night in Bangkok, Havana type of shit. I don't want that in my life. Some of you are easing out of it, and you're being drawn more towards women, or just not being with anyone like that at all. And you're feeling better. You're looking healthier and better. Your conversations are changing. Are there men's support groups? Support groups for men for this? I hope so. Some sense of normalcy. I'm so sorry for you guys that experienced this. Now, some of you deserved it because you killed a lot of women for life insurance policies. If you would have just offed the right ones, but I can feel by how the planet is that there are too many great women that aren't here anymore. I would like to use the DNA once I get shit that is mine back. I have to be careful what I say. Once I'm in a predicament to do so, I would like to find DNA of certain women and clone them to start over. I'm not sure that's going to be possible, as I have a feeling also that something is fated for this planet to completely destroy itself. Maybe we'll be able to do that for a little bit, just to occupy time. But I do believe that the Earth won't be here forever. 2070 something. But there's going to be something huge and catastrophic that happens in 2027. It will be a drop. It will be biblical is an understatement. The earth will destroy itself on top of everything that we've done over lifetimes, on top of what these dingbats do, experimenting. The mad scientists with ego problems that don't get laid. You create a monster, a weird type of monster too. A clown. Some letters, please. I am. What are you? MIA. This keeps coming up. This comes up on that ghost app a lot, MIA. Is this a Mia? Or is this people going MIA? Did I ever check that out on the Urban Dictionary? She is a crazy girl, makes jokes most people don't understand. She is very pretty and has nice eyes. You will be stunned when you meet a Mia. That's right, I did look this up. Short for bulimia. Is that code now? Did a lot of these men or women start eating and purging? Now, you know what I just felt? Oh my God, that's what they were saying. Mia. Like, we're cool. We puke. It's weird to have some type of code for it. This could have been a requirement for some of them that were too big and they could have felt you guys pulling away. Let's not forget, they have to keep them in your life. They're either slowly killing you with poison, or they're slowly trying to create a case to frame you for something. But it's to destroy you. Not all of you, but there's always a covert reason behind this. If you all weren't turning completely gay and it wasn't gone beautiful, I believe that now you were threatened with incarceration, whether you knew it or not, or death. Or they could have been forcing you to take your own life to collect souls. But this is also one of those women. There's amazing women. Let's talk about you. ERMIAA. Tell me about this amazing Mia type of woman. Child and orphan. You could be an orphan. I believe they're taking me to the woe is me thing. I'm gonna bet. Oh, don't even tell me you did this. Whatever your story was, that's usually, oh my God, how did they get through this? I'll bet some of them actually got facts on who you are, what kind of life you had, and they used that as theirs to gain pity from these men, you pieces of shit. I didn't think you could be any lower, but now you take what happened to a real woman and you make that your life. Well, guess what? Some of you are about to have that fucking life. Don't forget that you wanted it that bad. Let's talk about the life of this amazing woman and how she turned out and how you could never copy her. And that's when things really started going bad. One, she actually, when she's like this masculine shit, she handles shit. Yeah, it's not like this. Some of you guys, it's ridiculous because you're so masculine, but then you're acting like fools in public. Us women aren't that emotional. We're not that dramatic. Not all of us. Most of us are not. I'm realizing now in hindsight that that's a trait of a gay man, a transsexual that doesn't feel comfortable. You don't know how. You haven't been around enough women. Your idea and perception of women is skewed. Now, either you had an over-dramatic mother or sisters or your exes before you decided to do this shit were like that, and that's all you know. I will give you that. For some of you, that's all you know of women, okay? You came from some kind of money. This is the storyline I'm guessing a lot of you got. My dad's this, right? I just thought of the nun. But my dad owns, right? Triple stamp, double stamps. But they don't want to talk about or deal with the past, right? It's very short. Oh, I don't want to talk about that. I get upset. Where's the onions I put in my handkerchief, my tissue with the onion in it, or onion something? Somebody tried onion powder. I can't even believe you went that route. Yeah, I don't want to talk to my parents. I'm an orphan. I don't want to find them because some of you wound up with men who had outlets and they had I guess they knew people that could find your birth parents or even investigators or people that do this shit. Yeah, a couple of these guys knew John Edwards, that psychic, and that other guy that finds, yeah, and they offered to help you because you made such a big deal about your childhood and how hard it was and shit, and how if I could talk to them. And then they said, well, I can help you find them. You know what I mean? Even maybe some younger siblings that you lied about. Oh, well, we got separated and you didn't want to. It's really odd. So you're telling me that you don't, even for those of you that said that you grew up in certain homes and you knew your parents, you took someone else's story. You had to. Or a story of a movie or a couple movies together. It's not yours, though. And you said you didn't want to I don't speak to my family anymore. I guess I'm the outcast. I could be the empath that certain these people talk about with the narcissistic families and shit. So you don't want to reconcile with none of them. None of it was your fault. Yeah, what happened to me as a child? I was stolen, I think. And I've been cheated on a lot by men. This was to prep you for any erratic behavior out of nowhere. It gives them this pass now. It's a cushioning for what's to come. then they can say, and if they get all of this out, this is what somebody told them. Somebody told me if you do things repetitively, it embeds in your brain or you never forget them. So let's do this. Let's consistently, while you're out to dinner and you're just by yourself and shit, don't do it in front of friends, because their friends could be real on point and they're going to pick out certain things. Only do it with them when they're by themselves. And it may behoove you to get a few glasses of wine or some shots in them, you know, so that make it more easier for them to listen. But you're going to imprint this in their brain and yours, so that if any questions arise later on, you're already going to know the answer based off of this. You know, you tell yourself this story enough, it becomes your story. This is what some idiot thought, that they were doing great. And I always feel trapped somehow. You know, there were even times where I was kidnapped. Remember, this is one of your stories, Divine Feminine, okay? You may not even know. Some of these idiots already knew who you were and that you were supposed to be with this guy, and they knew that you had this kind of fucking life of turmoil. They already knew they could never be you. So now they have that on their brain. You go in this with, then as they find out about your story, they have to actually ask some people, did this actually happen to this girl? Some of them started feeling something, okay? And they couldn't pull out. They are stuck in something. And it's not all their fault. They didn't want to continue to do this, and they wound up being blackmailed or threatened or something else. I'm talking about the ones who you had no compassion for the story of someone else. You actually started to believe that this was you. That's why. You started feeling sorry for yourself by taking on the story of somebody else. That's how sick and twisted this shit got. Then what happened? Why are you like this now? Because of some tarot readers talking about some shit? That's what it feels like. It feels like some spiritualists or some psychics started honing in on this story. This could have even been a tarot reader's fucking story, and they started telling their own story. And now you got a little concerned. Now what? I'm going to put my guard up and shit. What? You don't want to talk about this anymore? I feel like some of you guys started finding some shit out. You never thought in a million years that you would be watching and following tarot readers and psychics and shit, but I did. And I started, whoa, you know what I mean? And I can tell, to feel the jealousy. And these guys were going, well, why are you jealous? It feels like she's telling your story, right? Is that what happened? Did they question and say, yo, man, my friend or my friend's wife said that she thinks this may be your story, and that is your dad's name, or do you think your brother's name? And then you started watching, and I'm guessing now comes the hate or the evil eye towards the tarot reader, yeah, or some kind of blood ritual and shit. We got to get their blood. Or death magic, I'm sure that's coming up too. Now they'll lie and go, oh my God, I'm so grateful. Oh my God, that could be right. They don't know what to do. It's different for different times with different types of people with different types of personality. I'm so grateful. Let's donate to them. Let's. Oh my God, I love them. And then what do they do? What do they do? Because this is a constant covering of lies. You know what this does to you over time? One, it ages you dramatically, and it just turns you into an angry person, because now you don't know lies from the truth. People are actually calling you out on shit. Shit's happening physically in certain situations that now you have to explain. They'll put comments in there. Say that the guy and the girl now both watch the same tarot reader because you have some type of bond with this person because of some shit they helped you with. The guy reads the comments. He's that kind of guy. He's bored, whatever. He could have been out on workers' comp or laid off or something, but he wound up doing this, and these readers helped him through a lot of shit. What'll happen is the woman will try and find a way to stop him from watching that reader. First, you try and stop the reader in some way. This is when readers get really heavily gang stalked if they weren't already, because now you're interfering with this program. But she'll leave a comment. They'll leave a comment saying, oh my God, even maybe a super thanks. So now the guy's thinking, well, my God, they thanked them and actually commented. Oh my God, that's my wife. Is that my wife? I think that's her thing. Well, this must be hers. This must be her story. Somebody in particular, the tarot reader, is actually a sibling of this man who did this and turned himself into a woman. You found out that this was actually your sibling. But here's another thing. Is this tarot reader my husband's wife? Is this the one? So we have the reader. This is actually a loving woman. And I'm guessing that this could even be the man bonding with this woman, whether he's attracted to her, he could have never seen her face. There's some type of connection here. It's a soul connection. He's gaining wisdom from this woman. It doesn't necessarily have to be about this. It's just for spiritual growth. And she's telling him at some point, wisen up. I would leave. Now he does. He's staying by himself. He's distancing himself from the wife. And he's planning on going. Now what happens is she has him followed at work or while he's going to work. It's just shit. How long could this go on? You see, this is already over an hour again. An hour. And this must have seemed like the most torturous, endless cycle. Are some of you... I'm glad that I realized this now before I wound up being 70, 80, even 90 years old. And I wound up, oh my God, I spent so many years of my life unhappy. You don't realize what you'll accept. You're just okay with. It's not really accepting that you just say, okay, well, I guess this is just it for me. I'm experiencing true happiness, says a lot of you. And I'm by myself. I started loving myself the way you told me to, Philly. I'm chafing and everything. I had to change my oil. It's a great thing, though. You're getting to know yourself. Oh, what the fuck am I? You don't even know who you are anymore. You didn't. There may be some riots in the streets. For those of you that have a high area, I guess inner cities, where there's prostitution and there's a lot of transsexuals there who just seem to be angry at the world. And their looks are changing and their health is deteriorating. You're going to see them. Be careful now. Remember, they're men. All right? And this estrogen shit, they either can't afford it, it's not working, or companies won't create it anymore because of what it's doing. And now you're going to wind up seeing them try and hold you up for shit because they have addictions too, I'm guessing. Not all of them, but we all have some type of addiction. Baboon, on top of everything else. They were lied to and they were used as test, what is it? Crash test dummies. Here, I want you to be my test tube dummy. What the fuck is that? Crash test dummy for the DNA. Now, they were lied to. Look, remember we talked about the baboon putting on the makeup. I'm going to leave you for a few seconds. I don't want to be that woman again. There we go. On top of this, right? Well, they're watching tutorials. This reminds me of filters on everything. How do I filter the FaceTime with them? And this and what happens after all this filtering? The lights are dim. The lights are damn near. We're walking with black lights on. I'm gonna bring back retro. And well, we're having breakfast in the dark. We're going to work. It's like you live in fucking Alaska. If you don't live in Alaska during those months where there's no sun, something's up here. But on top of this, they were even told by some of these people, because remember, those at the top, that you're evil, you're just weird. And now you incorporated some kind of weird people and turned them into weirdos just like you. They had DNA implanted in them. This is what happened. This is getting boring. These are the puppet stringers. This is getting boring. We need to spicing this up a little bit. Let's attack them. I mean, they didn't see you as having any worth for you men that did this, and it's because you didn't have self-respect for your bodies, and you did so much weird shit impulsively, and you took the story of this woman, and they don't have any respect for you. So what they did was, if they didn't tell you that they would implant you with female DNA and then lied and made it hyena and baboon and ape DNA, gorilla DNA, they did this to you without your consent. This would be karma for you. some of them, you know, it wasn't exciting enough, the problems in between you and this guy, that they watch you on cameras too in your home to see the dynamic between the two of you, and then they'll compare it between the dynamic of him and his fucking wife he was supposed to be with that he was separated from. They have nothing else to do. Then they watch you argue with this DNA. They want to see how different the argument is with animal DNA. Your look started changing. Now you're desperately going to get injections and shit, and they're implanting you in some way with either the wrong DNA that they lied to you about, or, like I said, doing it covertly through with whatever this is, laser surgery, frequency. It could have even been that they put some of the shit in your Botox injections. You became an experiment all by yourselves, because you engaged in a fucking experiment to rip two people apart and families apart and to destroy. This is what happens. Some of you look like fucking apes, and you're white though. The skin color doesn't matter. Or Latino, you're starting to look. Don't tell me that is someone growing whiskers? That could be leopard, lion, or something. How long does she sit? They sit just 15 more minutes. 7 hours later, you're finally leaving to go out to eat. I guess we're going out to a late dinner at 1 o'clock in the morning to the diner that's open 24 fucking hours. And then they're so careful to where you go to eat and everywhere you go, because they need a certain kind of lighting. They're not going to go to Walmart with you. Did you notice that when you go to any kind of Target or Walmart or the grocery store, they either want to go by themselves, and what do they wear? Some kind of head thing to cover themselves as much as they can, or they're in and out and they forget everything because they're insecure about the way that they really look. They know they're a man still. And the hands. The hands and the feet. Not for everybody, but for a lot of them, the hands, the feet. King of Swords, hands. Some of them were construction before they transformed. Masonry. And then you had others who just did some kind of, they were either COs. It was a uniform type of jobs, and their hands were usually better. Some of them were investigators or cops. Some people in the judicial system that wanted to get even somehow with you for something that happened. This had nothing to do with separating you from a woman. This had something to do with a personal beef that maybe they had at least 10 years prior. Yeah, this could have even been drug dealers with some kind of delivery going wrong. This is also mail order wives to me. A few of you, the men that were that got mail order wives left them once they were here legally and slept with you or became close with you, and they never forgot that shit. Yeah, it is. It's overwhelming to think of all of, and there's the mood ring in reverse. Your mood is crazy. I'll tell you what, did you get a mood ring for somebody and you didn't tell them it was a mood ring? Somebody did. I'm going to get them a ring. I'm not going to tell them it's that. And he paid attention to what color this stone was more than anything, and it was darker more than it was lighter. Yeah, you underestimated a lot of these men. Now, you may have had them for a little bit because you made sure that they were super busy, distracted, and stressed out in some kind of fucking way. Even if you came home and said, yo, a detective friend of mine said that somebody's trying to frame you for murder, but I'm going to play hero. Oh, I got you, babe. May, even at M-A-E, Mayor, even if I have to, do something I don't want to do to make sure you don't go to jail, this is when they can feel that the man's not happy. They have to come in and play, if it wasn't for me, you would have been in prison. They'll even create fake documents and pictures and shit like that. They'll talk shit on this person and say, God, they've been a piece of shit since I went to high school with them. I can't believe they're still a piece of shit. Meanwhile, the biggest piece of shit of all is the one who's speaking. So, this may be a 2-hour message. It's that important and it's that overwhelming for a lot of men and women with the gender thing. It's overwhelming for us women, for you women who had this happen to you with a woman turning into a man. I honestly believe that you guys could be happier, and this shit was, you were separated from a man and you don't have any regret from that. I'm happy for you. And then there are others now where some of you women were separated from these men, and to look at it now, you know you're going to be coming back together with them, or you know that there's a reason that you were separated. It could have been that was actually a man that was no good for you, and this transsexual did you a favor. They did you a favor. They thought that you were in love, but really you're just the type of woman where I'm just going to keep loving you until we're separated. And then others of you both had to see something or appreciate each other, or awaken to this, right? It could have been one of you was, and then there were arguments with you saying, do you notice that a lot of these women that are flirting with you look very masculine? You could have known feminine before, and then they got rid of you or separated you. It could also have been that something else wanted to make sure that when they bring you back together, this covert interference, you can't be around a lot of people. You're going to be the type of couple that nobody knows whether you're still here or not. Are they alive or dead? I have no idea. We don't see them anymore. When your girl said here, 2 people fall in love and now other people come into it, they're horrible influences, they will split you up. Child and magical. What's at the bottom? Warrior. Tell me about this. This in the low attribute is also depressed pessimism. Defense. Told you some of them were boxers. And they have broad shoulders. Roxanne. Roxanne, Roxanne. I want to be your man. You can't go. I don't think that you dance, but you went about the matter with no experience. You should know. She doesn't need a guy like you. She needs a guy like me with a high IQ. Exactly. They forgot who they were, a lot of these men. Yeah. I'm not fucking graduated Harvard. What are you talking about? How did this happen to me? It can happen to anybody. Once you create fake documents, warrants, marriage certificates, video, and you can erase their memory and even put them into a coma, and then have them wake up in a hospital room with you standing there trying to recreate a movie with amnesia. Amnesia and anesthesia will please you. Is that what some asshole said? Now you got shit hanging out of your crotch and you smell like a rotten corpse. Tell me about this. I'm on the defense. This could even be with the children, where some of you that you had children put in your life that weren't yours. They were actors as well. And it's like, I can't even get along with the kid. This kid doesn't look anything like me. And we have not only do we not have any kind of connection with each other, I mean, but I fight like this little girl's my girlfriend. It doesn't even seem like they had a connection with these kids. But you don't notice this. On top of this comes a lot of graveyard dirt, period blood, other people's, obviously. And then what they'll do is this. Here's another one. Stay with me. Stay with your girl. Oh God, she's exposing, or he's exposing, or these people are exposing how we put period blood in. Now, I'm also a little worried that he may think I'm a man. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to out myself and say, listen, before you find out from someone else I was putting my period blood in the spaghetti. Then he immediately thinks, well, then she must be a woman, right? They'll even put someone else's pad or tampon in your fucking bathroom trash can. This is odd. For the past 2 years, I haven't seen anything. Now she just leaves it out like she wants me to see it, but they're at the point where they're exhausted and they're tired of arguing, and you can notice that, so you prey on that even more. Did the kids start stealing stuff? Did you find shit? That's what they'll do. They'll use the kids now too to steal shit. This could have been to just they have to keep you They have to keep you stressed out, and in order to keep you from figuring shit out. This could be that you had to pick up your kid a couple times from jail or from stores because they got caught. If they found at all that you don't get a moment's peace either. You can't. They constant confusion and mental aggravation in order, right? That divide and conquer was they divided you from your friends and family so that nobody could figure this out. You wind up moving away from home too in some crazy way. But it's the divide your psyche is what it feels like and conquer. This is even, we're going to the suburbs from the city because they know too many people in the city. People figure things out in the city. That's what some dingbat said. Meanwhile, this guy's buying horses and ponies to make this kid happy. Look at the kids too. In the beginning, the kid's like, "This is great. I got horses and this and that, and I got the best swing set on the block." All this man winds up doing is pleasing, and pleasing. Oh, she puts herself on a pedestal too. Her and the kid dressed the same. Look how they both have white. This is how it is to be. Yeah! Little mini me. I wouldn't be surprised if this is an AI child. I don't know how far it goes to say we will win this. So now they probably have AI children just sitting in some factory somewhere. Our A42, you're up. This is how disgusting and how many spiritual laws are broken when you're fucking with DNA and blood like this. And gender. Somebody had 7 of them and not one of them was yours. I mean, I'm looking at them. Look very closely. Not one facial feature. This is when they're apprehensive. You want a child of your own. I want one of my own. I want to have another one. Some of these guys got hip and they were bold enough to say, let's have a baby. Because I don't think you can get pregnant. I want to see it. Oh my God, well, we have 12. Yeah, well, I want 13. They got cocky. What does she do? I have to do this. I'm determined. You're a wrong kind of determined. If you put that shit towards something great, you would have never had to do shit like this. But we're here. Oh, I need to get his DNA. I need for this child. Now you're going to have one fucking kid that looks just like the guy, and none of them do. See, it was bad foundation from the gate. Just more cracks, and all this weight just added more cracks and more cracks and more cracks to this already destructive and disgustingly weak foundation of a family unit. Keep me hanging on a string now. So what do you say? You want to have a baby? You're going to get off the pill that you claim that you're on, but really I have a feeling that you just have no womb? Right, then what happens? The guy starts getting angry, and now she seems like you talked about wanting to have a baby, but that was just to keep you comfortable with the situation. Now he mentions he wants one. You can tell why it's happening. What do I do? Well, I'm thinking about it. I'll think about it. Okay, that's to keep this loving side of him going. You know, if you get me drunk enough. What the fuck does that mean? If you get me drunk enough. You know, there's just certain things a woman doesn't say or do instinctively. If you get me drunk enough, I don't know. Maybe an easy. She's an easy lover. Now he's sitting there like this eventually. Now you're getting defensive, divine masculine. This is you now. Definitely a chosen male. All this is going on. Here you are. I'm a loving man. Here's the Queen of Pentacles, though. We got this here first, right? Now I'm thinking about it. May have to get me drunk. We'll plan a night. Yep, we'll plan a night. But can I get a new outfit? Can I have some money to get a new outfit, some lingerie and shit like that? What's with the car? Maybe we'll even have sex in the car and make it exciting. A lot of promising, but nothing ever happened. This is just to stall while they come up with some kind. They got to go talk to their handlers, their puppet string pullers, and say, he wants a baby. What do I do? Alright, well, let's find out. Shit. You mean he's not happy with the 32 that you have? No. Well, have sex with him. Alright? Have sex with him, and then what will we do? Make sure you keep having sex with him, though. Okay. I don't know what. Do you believe in magic? It's a miracle! Now, she could have said she had her tubes tied and shit. Is that what this is? I gotta find out another option. This is for another one. Don't you remember I told you I got my tubes tied? It was while you were in the hospital. I wasn't sure if you were ever going to come out of this coma. So I didn't want to, you know what I mean? I didn't want to... What the fuck does that mean? I don't want any more kids. I thought I was going to have to take care of all of these kids by myself. Who knows if I would have ever married again. I mean, I don't know if I'm ever going to find somebody to do it.
We put it back-to-back levels. So now we'll be putting in extra OT right here. We've checked off our to-do list. Now we're checking off our to-do list.
All right, that's one way to block this whole thing, right? That's one way to say, who came up with that? Tell me your tubes are tied. Who came up with this idea? FN came out. HA. Farad. Farah. Sorry, Farad. You could have, though. There could have been some dude that said it. HABF. ZC. Abe, Abel, ABC. Let's see what ABC is. Do you know who you're dating? Ass ball connector. Taint? Already been chewed. No, that doesn't say. Ass balls connection. Ass ball. Oh. That's not what happened. They didn't do the research on what kind of scarring that there was. Somebody had a guy that challenged when he found out about this, that challenged everything that this woman said. He watched videos to see what kind of surgery it was to get your tubes tied. And there's an idiot that said, I have the scar down there to prove it. He looked. Something looked weird. It was where the taint was. He looked at himself. I'm guessing that the difference, or what's in between a woman there and what's different between a man, could look different. There's a certain muscle that you can, and you know what that is? Is that the urethra for the penis that a woman doesn't have? Did the man see that lump or something? There's something where he was overwhelmed. It could have been that he knocked her out himself and did this without her knowledge. They're showing me somebody with a friggin' flashlight or a phone flashlight and a fucking view videoed it. You get these detective-like men, and some of them were detectives and agents. They have to figure shit out, or they're just like that, where they have to get answers. And now they became the biggest threat, a huge threat. You're my biggest enemy now. You were, and they said this to someone too, and the response was, you were since the day we met, I'm realizing. Drew? Laser, Laser. Did somebody, is that even possible? Hold on. Okay. Laseroscopic tubal ligation typically involves small incisions, usually one near the belly button and another lower on the abdomen, which may leave minimal scarring. The scars are generally small and less noticeable compared to traditional open surgery. They could have tried to say that they had a scar, right? Is that what they did? They said, I have a scar there to prove it. And then they passed out or something, or they ignored any further questioning or any further conversation. No scars whatsoever. It's just real comical, yeah. But, I mean, goddamn. Already been cut. Another bad conversation. I can't believe I'm at an hour and a half already. Calendar, God, man, this is a conversation with oneself. I remember that my exes used to mark when they got their period on the calendar, and my friends, even my friends' wives who actually have women for wives, when they wanted to have babies, they would have to mark shit down. There are some of these transsexuals that lied and said that they were getting in vitro. And then playing off of the emotion of these men, or right, playing victim, crying and saying that they can't believe they can't get pregnant. You show your true colors. What's grist, grinding, grist, synonym, substance, grain or kernel, staple, fundamental, consideration, no regard, yeah, this jealousy and envy went way too far. Like you have no regard for other people's feelings, for how many tragic things have happened in these people's lives, all of the people that were affected by this, that it's not just the men, it's their children that they had before, it's their family members, their friends, their co-workers. Yeah. When some of these men found out that they were separated from a woman and that they were a part of an attack, an intended attack, and they found out, for those of you women, where they took your story, they're disgusted to find out that they actually went this far. If you're worried and you feel like this is you, and you're worried that somehow they're going to send another one like this to him, it's not all of them. Some of them will fall for it again. It's a process. Others, though, there's not a shot in hell. You understand me? There's not a fucking shot in hell that they are going to go back to something like this. They clearly see the signs. They paid attention to the behaviors and the movements and the differences between you and them. Just be patient. Okay, they may have to rebuild before they come to you. They don't want to show up at your door or just run into you not prepared. Don't get mad. This is what you asked for, a lot of you, whether you realize it or not. They're doing the inner work. Remember how long it took you to do yours. Love you.